Welcome to the Billionaire Mindset, your 30-day journey to thinking like a billionaire. Now you can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the entire series for free and get the bonus PDF companion calendar, check the link in the description below. Today is day 3, and we're going to learn the routines of billionaires. Enjoy.
You talked about in support of the 996 work routine, and I've got to underscore to those who don't know it, particularly in China, you work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, and you were given a hard time because of that, and you backed off a little bit.
No. 996 is the spirit that I encourage in Alibaba people. If you want to have a bright future, if you don't want to be given up by the society, if you want to be successful, you have to work hard. Of course, you can enjoy life. I work only 2 hours a day. And
can you enjoy life with a 996 regime?
Yes, I do. I do.
Do other people in Shenzhen and elsewhere?
I think most of the people in this world, whether they're a great president, whether they're a good professor, or a good engineer, a good scientist, or a good anchor, like you work much more than you do. When I have a shower, I think, I work. When I'm in the toilet, I think. When I'm running, I think. We never stop working. Because today, why Alibaba need to 996? Because we, on our side, we have more than 60 million business rely on us. If we don't work hard, they lose their hope. So we have to work hard. But if you don't like your job, if you don't like the work you do, working 2 hours a day, you feel very bad. If you love your jobs, people like me, if I love the job I'm doing, I love the things I'm doing, 10 hours a day, 15 hours a day, it's nothing.
I think it's also important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. So the normal way that we conduct our lives is we reason by analogy. We're doing this because it's like something else that was done, or it's like what other people are doing.
Me too type ideas.
Yeah, it's slight iterations on a theme, and it's kind of mentally easier to reason by analogy rather than from first principles. But by first principles is kind of a physics way of looking at the world, and what that really means is you kind of boil things down to the most fundamental truths and say, okay, what are we sure is true, or as sure as possible is true? And then reason up from there. That takes a lot more mental energy.
Give me an example of that. Like, what's one thing that you've done that on that you feel has worked for you?
Sure. So somebody could say, in fact people do, that battery packs are really expensive and that's just the way they'll always be, because that's the way they've been in the past. You're like, well, no, that's pretty dumb, because if you applied that reasoning to anything new, then you wouldn't be able to ever get to that new thing.
How do you take a 12 million revenue company to roughly 120 billion revenue company without going public? What is the key secret to doing that?
Well, the secret was that I was, as I said, I didn't feel I was fully using my capabilities. So I read everything I could from all relevant disciplines, all different perspectives, to find principles that I could use and apply in the business and my life to enable me to believe in myself. And I started to apply them in business, and they worked. They worked beyond my belief and beyond anything I hoped for. And that absolutely transformed my life. And so my whole life has been looking for principles that will enable me to contribute or improve the principles we're implying and better apply them. And so every day is like I'm reborn.
The most important thing, aside from the things I've talked about already, is really who you associate with. You want to associate with people that are better than you are. I mean, basically, you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with. And you want to have the right heroes. You want people, if you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate. And when, obviously, you can't pick your parents. They're going to have an enormous influence on you, but you don't get a choice on that. But you get choices as you go down the line, and who you admire, who you want to copy, and the most important for most people in terms of that decision is their spouse. It's also important in terms of a partner in business, but the partner in life is the most important one. You want to pick a spouse that's better than you are, and then he or she, and you hope they don't figure it out too fast.
When I worked for other companies, some of them, not to mention any names, were so bad, they would treat people the old way. I'm the boss, here's what you're going to do because I'm the boss, right? Or there were times, for example, where maybe I had $1 for lunch. You can't get a lot for $1. So I just knew that that's how I was. And if I had a company that I had control of, by gosh, everyone was going to be treated the way I wanted to be treated. So the minute we could afford it, everyone had free lunch. Whether you had money or not, you have free lunch. We pay for it for you. Carpool will pay for that. So we started doing things for people that I wish happened to me. Maybe that's part of fate. Maybe because a lot of things along the way weren't so good, that as things started getting good, it was so easy for me to share with our people, so easy to do that. People sometimes don't save money. As soon as we possibly could afford it, we started profit sharing. We're at the end of every year, and we'll take that profit sharing and put it in a retirement fund for you. It's yours. It's yours. If you're here so many years, it goes with you no matter where you go. But it's yours. That's your money.
That's really incredible. And how much do you think that sort of golden rule approach has fed into your ridiculously low turnover rate, which is literally almost unprecedented? I mean, that's crazy.
True. I try and treat people exactly the way they'd want to be treated, exactly the way I would have wanted to be treated. I'm happy with my people. I realize my people are the company. If my people go, my God, the company goes. People are your company. And they take care of the customer. The customer is always right no matter what. So what do we do so the customer's happier? If somebody's unhappy, we try and discover why. And because you treat people this way, and we love them. You walk in our company, it's love. If you go to the front desk here in Century City, this girl just has the biggest smile saying, "Hi, welcome to John Paul Mitchell Systems." She loves what she does. Our big problem is we don't have turnover. We have so many people want to work for us, and the thing is, you got to wait for somebody to die. Now, as we grow, we'll add one or two on, obviously, at a time.
Sure.
And we're pretty big now because we're in 96 countries. Yeah. It's how you take care of people anywhere in the world. You don't boss them around. You include them in what you're doing.
There's nothing that AI won't impact. As big as having been around a while, I saw the impact of PCs, then I saw the impact of local area networks, then I saw the impact of wide area networks, then I saw the impact of the internet, then I saw the impact of mobile, then I saw the impact of wireless. Now I'm seeing the impact of artificial intelligence, and it dwarfs any of those things. And if I don't understand how to apply it to my businesses, I remember selling PCs and software and walking in saying, you don't need to use that pen and paper on a notepad or a ledger pad. Now we're going to give you a spreadsheet, and by the way, here's a spreadsheet that costs $495, and I had to pay to go get trained on how to sell it, which is crazy now when you think about it. But then we said, okay, now you can play what if. Then we said you can connect these PCs. Unless I understood the technology, how was I going to explain it? How was I going to understand it? Unless I understand it now, how am I going to invest in it? Then I got to go trust somebody who says, oh yeah, I know AI, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. And it's really easy just to say, you figure it out. That's just not my style.
So you're building a base of knowledge, and then you think that at some point it's going to pay dividends in terms of... It
already has.
Right?
I mean, if you truly believe AI is going to change everything, how are you going to understand what people are doing to change everything unless you at least have a foundational understanding of it? Now, I'm not going to build a 1,000,000-layer neural network and try to change the world. I'm not going to I'm not going to write a research paper and saying, here's why the lottery ticket approach works, and you can build smaller neural networks with less data and be more resource efficient. But I can read that stuff and understand that when somebody says, okay, we're building this project and we need this size data set or this size data set, or we need this amount of resources, I can ask questions and understand the answers.
Everything that is happening to us is preparing us for whatever is to come. And literally, we can see that this moment has been a moment to send us all to our rooms, literally, for a timeout. And whether we wanted to or not, it's an opportunity to reset, to reorganize, to rethink where we are and where we want to be and where we choose to go when this pandemic is over and we are released back into a new normal. Everybody keeps saying we want things to go back to normal. Forget that, folks. Forget that. Let go of we want things the way they used to be. We cannot have had this experience without being forever changed. And those of us who are carriers of the light, seekers of the light, as you all are, seeking wellness, know that you have to move into wherever this moment is carrying us. So ask yourself, what could you reset to help yourself be healthier and well in this moment, in these moments that we're experiencing? No question about it. The pandemic, the lockdown, the separation, the social distancing has caused us all to feel some sense of disorder. I feel it too, even though I literally am leaning into every spiritual practice I ever thought I believed in, but it still has caused disorder. And I'm asking myself the same questions that I'm asking you to ask yourself. What can the disorder reorder for you? We cannot let this moment, this extraordinary time that no one in our lifetime has experienced, pass us by and us not get all that it's here to teach, impact, show, and evolve us to. So to me, the cornerstone of any wellness is in vision is focus. So I found myself at the beginning of this pandemic feeling several things. First, when lockdown came, I was excited because, whoa, I thought it was only going to be like 2 weeks. And I was treating it like vacation. And I didn't have to fit into any pants. So I was eating everything. I was like counting the points in my head, but not really tracking them. And then when I realized it were going to be longer, I thought, after I put on the first 7 pounds, I said, whoa, let's get ourselves refocused and back on track. I was feeling overwhelmed, but I will tell you that for me, being the practice of being fully present has saved me. And one of the reasons I was feeling overwhelmed and eating my way through the first 2 weeks is because I had just come off of that tour. And I see some faces that I saw on the tour. Hey, Lisa Schaub, I see you there. And I realized, as more and more information was coming forward, that wow, after every show, y'all, Shook had 400, 500 people waiting in line to take pictures and shaking hands. So I shook hands, I hugged people, people kissed me, I kissed them, we cried, we danced, we did everything. And then I thought, 14, for the first 14 days after the tour finished, every day I was waiting to know whether or not I was going to be a victim of COVID-19. I am in the at-risk category. I am 66. Never before have I been reminded of that number, because at first when the news started coming out about it affecting elderly people, I was like, oh, so sad, the elderly people. Then I realized they were talking about people over 60. Oh, they're talking about me. Oh, I didn't realize I was elderly. Okay, thanks so much. And as I've shared with so many of you, I had pneumonia last year. So I'm really in that category of at risk. So I was worried. And if you're watching the news every day, as I know we all have been, needed it for information, I have now stopped and limited that for myself. If you're watching the news every day, you can get overwhelmed with the stories. And I was reading every terrible, horrible story of what it does to your body and how it shuts down your lungs, and then it makes your heart race, and then your kidneys fail, and all of that. Okay, do I have a witness over there? I see you, Linda. And so I had to stop doing that. And every time I would get overwhelmed, I would do this. I would just literally go to my breath and remind myself that breath is the presence of life. It reminds you that the breath is literally the source of life for you. Come back to focus. And I would say, In this moment, I am well. In this moment, I'm okay. I am not in the hospital. I am not on a respirator. I am not that story. In this moment, I am breathing. I am well. I'm okay. Coming back to the moment, reminding myself, in this moment, I am well. So I believe that the first step toward focus is to start exactly where you are.
Do you think you do so well in business because you dedicated to looking after your body and leading an active lifestyle?
100%. I think if you can find an hour or two a day for yourself, for your body, then you're going to be able to do, 5 or 6 more hours of creativity throughout the day. And we all know, when we let ourselves go, we're just not going to perform as well. So, one of the reasons we set up health clubs in pretty well all the major cities around the world is it is a passion of mine. I think it's so important that people, keep healthy.
I think we as human beings are endlessly curious about ourselves, and we love to test ourselves constantly. We find all sorts of arenas to test ourselves in, and you can right now, I have a racing sail. I have the fastest racing sailboat in the world, maybe the fastest racing sailboat in history. Sayonara has raced 26 times. We have 24 firsts and 2 seconds. And I'm discovering all sorts of things about me as I race that boat. I discover all sorts of things about me every day as Oracle competes with Microsoft for supremacy in the software world. So there's a wonderful saying that's dead wrong that says, why did you climb the mountain? I climbed the mountain because it was there. That is utter nonsense. It's ludicrous and absurd. You climbed the mountain because you were there, and you were curious if you could do it. You wondered what it would be like. You wondered what the view was from the top. And that's how we explore. The thing that we're most interested in is exploring our own limits and exploring our relationship with others. We're much more interested in each other and ourselves than we are everything else.
Showing up means showing up. It don't mean you got to the office. You understand? It doesn't mean you came to work. For me, showing up means I show up. I've been showing up since I was 25 years old, man. Before that, I wasn't showing up. I was showing off. I was acting a fool, being a fool. High school, I didn't show up. I went to class, I never showed up. My body went in the room. See, showing up doesn't mean you got there. Showing up means you got there, and then you showed up again, and then you showed up again, and then you showed up again. It means you show up for the class, you show up for the homework, you show up for the class, you show up for the homework, you show up for the test, you freaking get a perfect grade. It means you keep showing up to the next level. And I hear a lot of people talking about showing up, showing up's not everything. Let me tell you something, showing up, when you show up the right way, Johnny, you got to put your seatbelt on. When you show up the right way, showing up is 100% a success. That means you show up and then you show up again, you show up again, you keep getting better at your game. You can't keep showing up as the old you. You got to show up as the new you. If Mercedes-Benz, if they just kept building this vehicle the way they used to build it and didn't keep showing up with new technology, new suspension, new seats, new choices, new colors, the matte black, the red guts, new navigation system. Let's see if I don't even know how to operate this thing. I can go to dynamic right now, heavy suspension. I can go to dynamic thrust here. Boom, I can go to super exhaust right here. Cameras all over the place. Look at this board change. Like man, I can just do all kind of trick stuff with this thing. I don't even know how to do all this stuff. I wish the guy that had sold me the car, your door's open by the way, Johnny. The guy that sold me the car, I wish he'd show me how to operate the car, because I don't know how. I got cameras on the front of the thing, behind the thing, under the thing, in the ass of the thing, on top of the thing. It's crazy. Now, what is the point of all that? You got to get your game on, folks. You want to be married, happily married, you got to keep showing up. You can't have sex with your wife tonight like you had with her last month. You got to have it a new way. You got to keep bringing game, new strategies, new moves on your game, on your marriage game. Kids, okay? You got a kid that's 3 years old. Trust me, when that kid is 9 years old, you will need a new game with that kid. Otherwise, they're not going to listen to you. In sales, you got to have a new game every day, baby. You got to have a new game every day, and the follow-up. You got to have a new follow-up. Can't do the same thing you did that didn't work yesterday. We're doing a 10X growth conference. I'm doing a 10X this year. I'm not doing the same 10X I did last year. It's a new year, new time, new audience, new speakers. Now, that being said, when I show up for the 10X growth conference in Las Vegas on 2/20/2020, I just spent 6 hours this morning working out what we're doing, okay? I'm not gonna show up the way I did last year, jumping out of a damn plane. I'm gonna show up in a different way, okay? In a different way, in a unique way. But I am not gonna abandon the things that work for the audience and for myself. So you gotta find this really, really cool mixture between repeating what works and showing up as a new person all the time. If you're reading a book, okay, you're listening to music, going to an event, speaking at an event. Let's say you're speaking at an event and it's the 700th time you did that presentation. You gotta show up new again. Johnny comes to work with his camera and we're doing a show today. Johnny needs to show up new, looking for new angles, new colors, you gotta show up every day new, folks. You're new, man. You're new. Ladies and gentlemen, you're new. Every day you're new. Or, guess what? You're old. Nobody wants old. I don't want to get old. I don't want stale. I don't want yesterdays. I don't want leftovers. I know when somebody's repeating something rote. They're just giving me the same. I don't mind some bullshit, but it's got to be fresh. I need some fresh bullshit. So I don't mind a little bit of bullshit. I just don't want the same thing. Okay, that guy's told that story 1,000 times, and it looks like the thousandth time. Not in a good way either. So you got to keep showing up. Showing up means you're looking for deeper levels to show up, to pay attention. That's what I do every day. Every day I come to work, I'm like, show up, man. Show up for every little problem. Show up for every little opportunity. Show up for every little new nuance, little angle, little particle, little movement. That's why I see all this stuff. Why is that not cleaned up? Why is this not cleaned up? Why did somebody pick that up? Who's that new person here? Hey, you feeling all right today? How many times have I asked you that before? You all right today? I know it's the little things. It's simple. It costs nothing to do this. Show up. It costs you nothing. It makes all the difference. And it makes all the difference, man, showing up. You'll see things that no one else sees. And you know, the good news is anybody can do this. You just got to make a commitment to show up.
I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana, for those of you who don't know my story. And my dad was, he had 5 kids, wife. He was dedicated and committed to being the provider for his family, like many of you are. How many of you provide for your family? Probably want to do a good job at it. My dad wanted to do a good job at it. So my dad died when I was 10 years old. He had owned a life insurance company. He actually started a life insurance company. It was taken from him and a partner. It was taken from him at the age of, I guess he was 42 years old. 42 years old, he's got 5 kids. He's got a wife to take care of and no job. How many have been in transition before? Yeah. So 42, a lot of obligation now, starting to move into the middle class. 42 years old, he's got twin boys coming. They didn't plan us. You know, good Catholic family, doing the planning. Every 5 years they'd have a baby. So he was planning. You could tell, like when I look back in his life today. This is a long answer to a short question, but like you guys need to figure out your why you're going to do whatever you're going to do. My dad knew why he was going to do what he was going to do, but my dad didn't think big enough. I got 2 things from my dad. One, every day he worked, he was up early, he stayed late. He's in transition between 42 and 52. He's in transition in his life, right? He's having to go from life insurance company, big dream, company gets stolen away from him. He's like, what am I doing? Right? This is the story of the middle class right here. This is called gravity. This is yesterday's Miami bridge falling. And everybody's like, I can't believe that happened. Structures fall, folks. So this is what I learned from my dad. My mom had to sell a dream house that was paid for in cash. My dad bought a dream house a year and a half before he died. We all went in, celebrated. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. This is crazy. This is great. We made it to the middle class. My dad dies. My mom has to sell the house literally a week after my dad dies. When she should have been grieving, she was having to sell this dream house. You understand what I'm saying? This is what I learned when I was 10 years old. Oh man, life is short. Okay? My dad didn't provide, he worked hard, but he didn't have enough. Because if he had enough, my mom would not have had to sell the dream house. Everybody agree with that? Okay? My mom did not know how to produce new income, so my mom had to go into conservation. So when you ask me the question, how'd you start? I started with the wrong data. Okay? I started with the wrong data. And the data was, hey, life is short, something bad's gonna happen, all that's true. But if you could outproduce, if you could produce enough income, you could start solving some of these problems, like indestructible income.
It's saying, hey man, if you got $1 million, you're basically just a freaking deadbeat. And that your daddy didn't tell you that. If you didn't have any more income and you were, how old are you? 27. You're 27 years old. I'm gonna do this at 47. I'm gonna do it at 65. 27, you don't have any more income. How long would that money last? At $4,000 a month, you got 25 years. Where can you live on $4,000 a month? You'd have to live on $4,000 a month for 25 years. You will be 52 years old, my friend, and dead broke. Number one thing you got to do is this. You got to change the target, and you need to look at the target daily. The target, you have the wrong target right now. If you're struggling, you have the wrong target. When you change the target, everything changes. Now, and I started with zero, just so you guys know. I didn't have anything. Okay, so look, it's simple. Target, what's your new target? Freedom. Yeah, freedom, but let's put a number on it. So your first target should be $10 million and nothing short of that. Number one, the target. Number two, you need to get your income to a place. This is a fascinating concept right here. Okay, if you can do this, I guarantee you'll be rich. You need to get your income not to what pays your bills, but to where you can save 40% of your gross income is saved. All right, so now when you do this math, you're like, dude, how much money do I actually need? Let's kick this up to 20 grand. At 20 grand, what happens? You're saving 8. Storage. You're paying 8. And now you can live on 4. See, now this is the right way to do a budget. You make 30,000. 12's going to storage, 12's going to the IR and the S, and that leaves you with 6. So now you can start seeing, dude, you got to be somewhere north of 300 grand a year. This is what they don't teach you at Harvard. You got to be somewhere north of 360 a year before you even have money to live on, unless you're just, you're a dreck. You're just an irresponsible human being that's not storing money away for the future. Okay? Now you're saving 12 grand a month. That's $144,000 in 1 year. In 10 years, that's $1.4 million. In 10 years, you're a millionaire stored. You guys need to be heavily money motivated from a survival standpoint. Okay, number 3 thing you're gonna do. You're gonna go broke right here and invest the storage. Storage has to get invested. The golden goose is only good if she lays eggs. Otherwise, you can kill her. Eat her for a chicken. Need eggs. Money needs to make babies, right? So your goal right here is to invest the storage money and continue to do that until this money over here, the passive money, is equal to your income. Right? So what would I do? I'd go out, I'm gonna make 30 grand, I'm gonna store 12, I'm gonna pay the IRS, I'm gonna live on 6. Warren Buffett says, don't lose money, number 1. Number 2, don't lose money. I would tell you, number 3, don't lose money. And that's the reality of the situation. That's what Peter Thiel was saying. A single-digit millionaire cannot even provide themselves with their own personal defense in America. Okay? Hulk Hogan, all that money Hulk Hogan made, he blew it all. He blew it all, probably buying hair pieces. Okay? He blew it all, ended up with a little money, thought he was the shit. Oh man, I got a little money, until he had that freaking lawsuit, and then he can't even defend himself. So, it happens to a lot of people. How many of you know a family member lost their job? Okay? How many of you have a family member where the kid got a drug addiction, he had to go to rehab for 30 days and it cost 40 grand? Dude, bad shit happens. How many of you know somebody got cancer? Okay? How many know somebody in a car accident cost 300 or 400 grand? Shit happens. Okay, the problem is not that shit happens and people aren't ready for it. Oh God, I can't believe this happened to me. Oh, shit. Really? God damn, you've been around long enough. Right? How many of you can't swim? You live on a planet with water. I'm just saying you might want to get a swimming lesson. It's a wet planet. I don't care who you are. When people you've worked with, supported, helped, done stuff with, dude, when you hit a band of success, don't be shocked. They're gonna turn on you too. Oh yeah, I'm serious. Your success feels like a threat to them. It's freaking amazing. I'm sure they'll see this. You'll see. You know, they won't comment, they won't post. They just check out on you, dude, until you got something to offer them. And then they're like, yeah, man, let's do something together. So look, I'm just prepping you. If you're one of those people out there like I was when I was 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, waiting for my break, man, I'm busting my ass every day. Every day, 250 days a year, I'm banging out. Weekends, I'm getting ready to fly out again. Like, I'm not complaining. I'm not bragging either. I'm just telling you, if you're going to make it, if you're one of those people out there that like this message resonates with you, I never thought about spending 2 weeks up in Utah at somebody's house. Look at this place. This freaking place is stupid. Look at this. Ski in, ski out. It's one of the only places in Deer Valley that's got a swimming pool. Little cave back here. I don't know what people do in the cave. So yeah, so look, here's the deal. There's no course on this. Nobody's going to teach you how to handle it. But if you're going to hit it big, and I expect you're watching this, you're one of those people that want to hit it big. Man, number one, don't hate up. While you're working your way up the food chain, don't hate up. Okay? It always falls back in your face, doesn't make you look good. Anybody that is anybody knows what you're doing. And you see a lot of guys out there playing games, running stories. You know, you see the 50 Cent, Mayweather, those guys hating on each other all the time. You see some of the rappers doing this. Look, this can't be your game, okay? You're thinking about success. The people that are out creating, producing, coming up with new material, new ideas, new games, you don't have time to stop and hate or even criticize other people. You could observe, oh, wow, that was cool. Oh, I wouldn't do that. No reason to comment about it. Use the data. Use the data. Build your freaking empire. Create success after success after success. Stay focused. Don't be one of those people. Right? Don't even check out on those guys. Like if you got somebody in your space you're competing with, they're taking some of your market, or you feel a little bit of threat by them, try to collaborate with them. Do stuff with them. Don't try to I'm not going to support him. Like when you support somebody else's success, those people that make it, they remember it. They remember it, man. They see it. I'm telling you, you're not going to know this. You're going to think, oh, no, dude, I'm going to get success. You're going to go from doing whatever you're doing right now. You got a 1 comma business. You got $100,000 a year business, and then you go to $1 million. You got a couple commas in there now. You got 6 zeros. You got a 1, making $1 million. You're going to feel it, man. Watch. You're going to have family and friends. Family and friends start freaking, you work so hard. Why are you working so hard? Money's not everything. And then for you to go from 1 million to 10 million, oh, you become a threat to other people, man. People say, oh, that guy's on the move. He's on the move, she's on the move. He's on the move, she's on the move. You're going to try to do something with them. They're going to do something with you once. Don't be surprised when they stop following you, when they stop supporting you, when they stop liking, commenting, working with, flowing you energy and power. But look, when they stop, don't you stop. Be the bigger person, be the bigger being here. Okay, somebody's not going to like it because I don't have a shirt on in the pool. I'm sure somebody's going to say, oh, Cardone's at it again. All right. And when I'm down in Miami and the sun's shining down on me and that radiation's hitting me, I wear a shirt. And you guys are like, oh, why is he wearing a shirt? You see, it doesn't matter. You can't win, man. Oops. You can't win, but you can win. Look, don't try to win the little games with people. High school's over. It's not a popularity contest. Okay? You guys out there right now, if you're seeing this, you know who you are. You did stuff, you talked about doing stuff. Now you acting like a little baby, like a little boy, like a little punk. Like a punk. You're acting like a punk. Dude, don't do it. Don't do it. What are you doing, man? You're wasting energy. It's a long play, baby. There's only 7 billion people on this planet. At the end of the day, if you're going to get super successful, you're going to know them all. And the super successful end up knowing the super successful, because check it out. If the super successful don't know who you are yet, that's because you're not super successful yet. So when you're hating on somebody in your same space, right, or they're hating on you, remember this. You keep focused on creating massive, massive success. Okay? Because when you get up to the top of the food chain, whatever the food chain is in your space, whether it's financial or insurance or real estate or influencers or podcasters, or maybe you're doing a real business. You're not doing it. You're not an influencer and you're not a podcaster. You're like, dude, why all these guys spending all this time doing podcasts? I got a business to grow. I got employees. Maybe you're doing that. So, what's my point? Anytime you watch any of my videos, you say, dude, what's the guy really talking about? I'm doing this for you. I don't get paid to do it. So if you're getting any value out of this, I'm telling you, when you get up the food chain, and you will because you're watching it, you will get up the food chain. You will become a super successful person, but you won't if you hate. You will not become super successful if you take the time to worry about these other people in your space. Flow and power, man. Love on them. Send them love, send them customers, send them deals. But don't be surprised when they don't send it back. Because they're not. No book tells you this. All these guys doing their little quotes, talking about abundancy, scarcity, but watch how they act when you get up there, man. Watch it, man. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be like, Cardone told me. While I was eating snow, the dude told me that they were going to hate on me. I had somebody call me the other day and said, hey, dude, I want to give you some. You need to know how to handle some of these situations you're running up against, okay? Because there's a way for you to prevent some of this. These people hating on you. I said, dude, I'm not going to try to prevent somebody from being stupid. That's just dumb. I got enough insurance in my life already. Most of the time, the accident never happens. The way to ensure that these haters and criticizers and little thinkers don't bother you is don't be them, number one. Number two, keep flowing them love and power, baby. Number three, get to the top. Get to the top of the food chain where everybody at the top knows you. And the people that wouldn't flow you on the way up or wish they didn't do what they did, okay? It better be big because it's going to be hard. Either way, it's going to be hard, so it better be big because if it's not big, it won't be worth it. It's like spinning. It's like juggling. It's like, you know. Anybody else come by this place to do this? If you had all the money, like unlimited budget, what would you spend money on? We're doing the due diligence on a property in Houston, Texas, actually Pasadena. Let's go see what we find out, huh? What most people don't understand about the real estate game. I don't need 35 million to become 70 million to make money. I need the 10 million I put down. I need to be worth 45 when I exit for my 10 million to double, and I got paid while I sat and wait.
Money, 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 money.
This is my guy right here, man. God bless you, bro. Miss Elena, God bless you. You phenomenal.
Hey, man. Oh, wait, man. How you doing, man? I watch your videos all the time. Oh, that's awesome. Man, it's hard. You just got to hang in there, buddy. You got to hang in there. You got to figure out like maybe a little left or a little right. You got to just keep working it out until you figure it out. Don't give up, man. Short arm, swinging like up, spinning up. Like, you want to sell something for $35 million? You better put a spit shine on it. You guys that are going to play with me at Cardone Capital, get your money right, get your money in, because we're going to make some money again and again.
Oh, yeah.
Stay in tune, stay in touch. We're gonna let you we're gonna let you know what works, when it doesn't work, when it's trouble, and when we score. I don't know about these puppies, they never work for me, but this one's got octopuses on it, which is my favorite animal. Why? 8 arms, tentacles that suck and never let go. It's 800, keep coming the rest of it. The yellow one. We're on our way to do some business, some work with 40,000 entrepreneurs, business people from all over the world. I'm gonna bless this place with more greatness. You see, you need to find places that have greatness in them, man, and drop more greatness in them. I'm going to go from my bio screen to that. I'm going to get everybody to do it at the same time and just show them what an alliance of action looks like.
Ooh, that's good.
Really, really appreciate. I love you guys. I love you guys. This has been a lifelong dream of mine. To one, be with you, and to be with WFG. Never take advice from a quitter. If they quit, you do not get advice from them. My goals have always been based on the people around me. I'm gonna make 50 grand. Why? Because my daddy made 50 grand.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Just got done doing a gig for this guy right here. Super unbelievable audience.
Inspirational speeches I've ever had.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I am so grateful and thankful that you are part of our company now.
We want you coming with us.
Exciting.
Okay? We want you coming with us. I'm talking about everyday people, ordinary people, people that don't
Just
have.
like us.
You feel like you don't have a shot right now. Things are tough.
We've been there.
Okay?
We know what you're going through.
Go all the way to the top.
Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the Billionaire Mindset question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? Also, if you've already got your Billionaire Mindset Companion PDF calendar, get ready for another amazing video tomorrow. Or if you don't have it yet, you can get it for free in the first line of the description below. And if you're enjoying this Billionaire Mindset series, give me a hashtag Billionaire Mindset in the comments below so I can celebrate you. Most people are crazy busy but don't get anything done. If you feel like you're crazy busy, like you barely have any enough time for yourself, that you get to the end of the week and you know you've been hauling ass all week long, you've been busting your face in, you've been working and working and working, super busy, but then you look back and you say, what did I actually do this week? If that's you, then this message is for you. You're busy, but you're not focused, and shifting your life begins with shifting your priorities. So I used to pride myself on responding to email ASAP, quickly. Like, you send me an email, 30 seconds to 60 seconds later, you would get my response. I prided myself on, like, that's good service. That's what you should do as an entrepreneur, right? Like, people communicating with you, you want to send it back to them quickly. I hated having to wait and wait and wait on people, so I didn't want to be that for others. So I had all my notifications turned on, and as soon as an email came in, ding, came in, boom, response, go. What made it worse was people would then get my response. They tended to be on the computer at the same time. And then they write back right away and say, wow, you're really quick. Like, thank you so much. And that fed the identity, that fed the ego. And I am very fast, exactly, right? There's proof that this thing works. The problem was, I wasn't getting anything important done. I was working on something, and then the notification came in and I stopped what I was working on to go answer this email, feel great about myself, that little hit, and then come back to my project. Like, what was I working on? And it takes time to start getting back into the flow of working on that thing, and then another email comes in. And so I ended up being busy. I was working all day long, right? Like, lunch at the desk, breakfast at the desk, dinner at the desk, all day long, right? Washroom, back to the desk. There was no breaks. All day long, straight through. But then I get to the end of the day, end of the week, like, what did I do this week? I don't know. But I answered a lot of emails. Because I didn't have focus, I didn't have priorities. And when I realized that, after that happened enough times, I realized, wow, I'm never gonna get close to my goals. Like, just doing this, all I'm doing is reacting to other people's goals. When somebody shoots me an email, that's what they want. They're demanding my time. And I'm giving it to them freely because I have no defense around my time, because I have no respect around my time. I'm just letting it bleed out. There's no time for me to work on what I want, and so I'm not gonna make any progress on the things that I want. If you want to make progress on the things that you want, you have to carve out time for the things that you want. That's how it works. And you got to put gates and blockades and barriers around it and say, this is my focus time and nobody's allowed in. Now, worst case emergencies, family, awesome. But there aren't that many actual emergencies. You have to be willing to let the small balls drop to go for the big goals in your life. You have to pick. You can't do both really well. You have to pick. What do you want to be great at? Do you want to be great at getting every little small thing done and then never do the big thing? Or do you want to be great at getting the big things done and risk losing some of the small things? Because by chasing down the big things, you're going to lose some small things. I'm going to give you a 3-step process. Follow along and let's change your life. Step number 1, decide on your top 3 goals right now. What are your top 3 goals? Most important things to you right now. What are your priorities? The 3 big things that have to happen for you, what are they? Get clear, get specific. If you don't know what they are, that's why you're not chasing anything big down. If you haven't thought about it, then that's the problem. You're stuck in these small projects for life. What are your 3 big goals for your business and your life right now? Step 2 is map your actions to your ambitions. Whatever you say you want to do will not happen unless it's in your calendar. You need to map your actions, what you're doing, to your ambitions, what you say you want. What you're doing has to lead to what you say you want out of life. You can say you want all this stuff, but if you're not doing the work, you're never gonna get there. And most people live there. You say you want this, but you're doing something totally different over here because it's not on your calendar. You haven't prioritized it. So now it's time to pull out your calendar and map your actions to your ambitions. For those 3 goals, you need to put time in your calendar every week to make progress on them. You have to. Your calendar is never gonna miraculously open up. There's only going to be more people who have demands to your time and want you to react to their life, to their emergencies, to their goals, instead of you fulfilling your own. So pull out your calendar and show yourself where in the week you're going to block off the time to map your actions to your ambitions and make time to make those 3 goals of yours happen. So step 3 is block the time and take small losses for big wins. Physically put into your calendar, this block of time on Monday afternoon I'm spending on XYZ, and I am okay with losing some small losses. I will not be reachable. I might lose a deal. There might be some burn down happening that I can't take charge of. I'm going to disappoint somebody. I'm going to let somebody down, not with intentionally, not on purpose, but it's going to happen. And you're not going to kick yourself for doing it, because what you're going to make that time count. Those 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, however long you're spending working on your goals, you're going to make that time count. You're sacrificing all these small wins that you love going after to make this time count. So use that as pressure, not to feel guilty about yourself for not doing those little small wins and being late and getting back to people, but in saying, I am working on something that's going to change my life. And because of these people who are dependent on me for everything else, and I'm pushing that off, I better make this time count. Use that pressure to drive you forwards instead of backwards. You have the power to control your world, how you think, how you act, your mindset with the words that you speak. When you use weak language, you signal to yourself that you are weak. You signal to yourself that your goals aren't important. You signal to yourself that you are not worth it. You lose respect for yourself, and the people around you don't respect you either. We need to stop using weak language and pay attention to the words that you're speaking to others and to yourself. Now, this is not an easy task, because most of the words that you're using, the way that you talk to others and to yourself, you're on autopilot, you're on cruise control. It just happens. You've been doing this for years or decades. And so switching it is not going to happen overnight, but if you pay attention to the next 3 things that I'm going to share with you, it can have a dramatic impact on your self-confidence, on the goals that you have for yourself, and on the outcomes you create for yourself in the world. Let's do it. Number 1, I can't, I'm not, I don't. What you say after those 3 things shapes your identity. It speaks to how you think and speak about yourself. So I can't be an entrepreneur. I can't be a leader. I can't be a YouTuber. I can't. Especially this one. When you say I can't, pay very, 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 very close attention to what follows and try to shift it from I can't to either I choose not to or I can't yet. I'm not a good salesperson. I'm not funny. I'm not the kind of person who follows through. Again, pay close attention and try to shift it to not yet. I don't program. I don't know how to make money. I don't think like that. Switch I don't to I don't yet. I can't, I'm not, I don't. Those statements are final. Those statements don't allow for growth. Those statements are how you feel about yourself and don't allow for the stretch. They don't allow you to get better. And so either eliminate them from your vocabulary or change them to yet. Number 2 is catch your cruise control. The way that you have been speaking about yourself, the way that you have been talking to yourself has been happening using the same words for years, maybe even decades. It's so automatic for you. You are on cruise control. You are on autopilot. You think small and talk negatively about yourself without even thinking about it. You need to catch your cruise control. And listen, don't be too hard on yourself. This is so ingrained. These patterns have been around for so long. You are just auto-defaulting to cruise control that most of these times you will not even catch it. You will not catch 99% of these moments, of these words, of these languages that you're using for yourself. But if you have the awareness, if you have the intention, if you have the desire, every now and then, you will catch it. Another quick hack is to enlist a friend, enlist the people around you, your wife, your husband, your team, your kids especially. My son Hayden loves calling me out on things. Enlist their help. Tell them, this is where I want to play a bigger game. This is where I'm frustrated with myself. This is where I keep talking badly about myself and putting myself down. These are the words, the language that I need to change. And every time you hear me talking this way, I need you to bring it to my awareness and let me know, because I want to catch my cruise control. For me personally, it's around complaining. Anytime I complain, I want my wife, I want my team, I want my son, I want the people around me to say, Evan, you are complaining. Right there, that was a complaint. Eat it, right? I'm happy for them to hug me with it, to yell at me with it. I just want them to let me know. Now, when I told everybody, they said, listen, you barely complain. You're like the least complaining person that we know. Awesome, thank you, I'm humbled, but I still complain, and I probably complain a lot, and a lot of the times I'm missing it. And so please, 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 even if you think I'm great at it, if you catch me complaining, I want you to call me out on it. So enlisting your friends can be really helpful, because you will likely not catch most of them yourself, but it's imperative that you start working on catching your cruise control. Step number 3 is manual override. You have caught your cruise control. You have found the autopilot. It's about to happen again. This negative talk that you're about to speak out into the world about yourself or your ideas, you putting yourself down, is about to come out again or has just come out. What do you do about it? Because this is really important. If you catch yourself playing small or talking negatively about yourself, if you catch it and you don't do anything, it actually makes it worse. It's better that you don't even catch it at all. If you catch it and you recognize I am playing small right now, and you ignore it and you don't change your behavior, you are building that identity for yourself that you are somebody who is playing small. You are consciously building that identity for yourself, and you need to stop it. It makes it worse. Where when you do catch it, when you find yourself falling into those patterns, those behaviors that you don't want anymore, whether you find it yourself or somebody's calling you out on it, what do? You need to kick your manual override into action and take the action that you want, because that starts building the positive habit. That starts building the positive respect. This is how you build respect for yourself. This is how you start building the muscle. This isn't just a zero-sum game. This isn't just we go back to neutral. When you catch it, you either go sliding down or you go propelling up. The choice is yours. When you catch yourself playing small, when you catch yourself coming off of cruise control, you have to do the thing that builds the self-respect up and speak positively about yourself and do the thing that you are scared to do.
You need to have a financial plan or you're going to end up broke. This happens to so many entrepreneurs. You're putting everything you've got back into your business, which is not that bad a strategy, to be honest, because at least you're getting the compounding on your business. But a lot of what happens is you end up super cash poor. And if anything happens to your company, you're screwed. All of that work that you put in, all the money that you put in, all the investments you put in, you've got nothing. You've got no backup plan. And this flies in the face a little bit of the go all in, have no plan B, no backup plan, don't give yourself an option, burn the boats. But having a financial plan that allows you to be safe, be comfortable, have that nest egg in the future is really, really, really important. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I've met who are so focused on building their business, and then when you ask them about their own financial plans and their investments and what they're doing, it's nothing. They have no plan. If their business goes away, they're completely out of luck. They're completely screwed. And so you need to start having that financial plan so that you don't end up with a major loss or being 60 and having nothing to fall back on. I think it's important to get started now. So here's how I do it. When I'm looking at my projects, I want to spend 40% as a maximum on operations. So everything is based off of revenue. And this video is going to get a little more technical than I usually do. So let me know if you like it in the comments below. When I'm looking at my budgeting, Nina and I look at this every month. So Nina's in charge of my operations. She's in charge of all the bank accounts. She's in charge of all the payments. She keeps a tight ship running. When I look at my revenue numbers, my operational budget is 40% of revenue. So to make this video, right, to make my YouTube channel happen, for my editing team, for my research team, for my thumbnail team, for my gear, for my salary, all of that stuff has to be 40% max of the revenue. And so at the beginning, if it's just you, then don't start spending too far ahead of the curve, right? I hate spending money until I'm making money. So these numbers can still apply. You can come up with your own version of it, but the numbers still apply no matter how much revenue you're making. You just stop spending more than you're making. That's a great start at the beginning. So many entrepreneurs are looking for ways to spend money. Stop spending money until you're making money. That's the first great bit of financial advice. I would put in, and still do for a new project, I put in my time, my energy, my hustle, my heart, but not my money until I'm making money. So once you're making the money, even a little bit of money, you're making $100, right? 40% goes towards operations. So you gotta buy a camera, and the camera costs you $100. That's a pretty cheap camera, but still, whatever. Then you have to wait till you have $400 in revenue, right? So you have your revenue, and then 40% goes to operations. At least for me, you can adjust these numbers for your own business. 25% for me goes to advertising, marketing, any promotional expenses. So that would also include travel in the past. I'm not traveling right now because of COVID, but that would include my travel. That would include any conferences that I was going to where I wasn't getting paid to go, and I had to cover my own flight and my own hotel. So anything that's related to advertising, to marketing, that would be within 25%. So I have an advertising budget, and this was actually hard for me to start spending money as my business grew, because I'm still in the mindset of I'm the entrepreneur who ate beans for lunch every day because I was making $300 a month. And so the idea of spending thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing every day it seems crazy. It seems crazy. Anyway, I had to get over it. I still struggle with it, but we're getting there. So having the budget helps me, right? Having the budget to spend money helps me. So 40% is operations, 25% is advertising, marketing, 10% is savings. So we take 10% of whatever I made, whatever the cash flow is coming in, and we put that away. And so that's where then I'm investing. That's the Tony Robbins compounding strategy. I invest half of it into an index fund that tracks the Canadian stock market. So half of my money just basically tracks the Canadian stock market. The fees are super low on it, and it's a way better return than you'll get on a mutual fund. And then the other half right now is mixed between Facebook and Amazon. So I'll take more of a flyer on half the money, and then the other half will be much more safe, just put into an index fund. So 10% of whatever I make in the business goes towards savings and investments. 5% goes towards giving away. So my wife, Nina, also loves to help and loves to support other people, just like I do. And in my book, Built to Serve, I talked about one of the biggest things I missed when I was looking through what makes Nina happy is being able to help other people and donate to causes. So we created a fund where 5% of what we make goes towards helping people. And she gets to pick. That might be a charity, that might be a dog rescue, that might be someone in her family, that might be supporting somebody that she knows, that might be somebody's going through a hard time and she's going to help them out, that might be contributing to the education fund of her nieces or nephews. Like, that changes every month. So every month we get a budget. 5% of whatever we make goes towards supporting the people in our lives, and she gets to be in charge of that. We just make sure that it adds up to a max of 5%. And that's great. Again, we weren't doing enough of that in the past, and 5% may not seem like a big number, but even if you're making $1,000 and you spend $50 on somebody, by giving, it makes you feel more full. It makes you feel more energetic, more optimistic, more positive, more happy. And $50 is enough. $50 could make a big difference for somebody. If somebody helped you in your business, in your life, and you get 5 people $10 gift cards with a handwritten note to say thank you, that can make a big difference. That'll make you feel really good. And that energy will translate into more growth in your life and in your business. So having that 5%, especially for Nina, I give my time. I give my time. So I'll speak at events for free. I'll coach people for free. I like to give my time. That's my giving. Nina's finding ways to give our money. And she gets to pick causes that are important to her. So it's very rarely kind of entrepreneurial causes. It's more charities that are close to her, or family or friends or people in our lives that she just wants to help. So 40% towards operations, 25% towards marketing, advertising, 10% towards savings, 5% towards helping other people, and then the rest is towards new projects. So if I'm launching something new and I want to put some investment in, this is another one that's been difficult for me to overcome, because again, I hate spending money till I'm making money. And so now we're at the point where my time is more valuable than my money. At the beginning, it was the flip. At the beginning, I'm making $300 a month. I have no money. It's just really hard. And so I'm just putting all of my time in. Now the time becomes a lot more valuable. And so I'm spending a little bit ahead of the curve. And again, having that budget helps me do it. For me, pulling 10% aside to save was the easiest part. The spending on the sales and marketing, the spending on the operations, the spending on the new projects, the spending on the giving away was the thing I needed more help with. And as I do those things, it allows me to get more of the results that I want. And so that's my financial plan as of right now. And we'll make some tweaks and some changes and minor adjustments along the way. But it's super important that you have one. And even if you're, again, making $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, the percentages can still apply. Because when you can say, hey, I'm only going to spend 40% of my revenue on operations, it forces you to be more resourceful. People complain about lack of resources. I don't have enough money to do what I want to do. I don't have enough team members to do what I want to do. And as long as you're stuck in the complaining mode of not having enough resources, you'll never win. Entrepreneurship is always about resourcefulness much more than resources. What can you do with what you do have? And when you have those strict rules to say, I'm only going to spend 40% on operations, I am going to save 10% of what I make every month, even though it may not seem like big numbers yet, right now. It can make a huge, huge, huge difference for you to, one, start to build the discipline into it, but then also allow for the compounding impact everywhere. Because if you're saving 10% every month, that will compound itself up. But if you're giving away 5% or whatever number works for you every month, that has a compound impact as well for yourself, for your momentum, for the people in your life. If you're investing into advertising for 25%, that has a compounding impact as well, because they may not recognize you after the first thing that they see, after the first marketing campaign. But if you stick around, right, all of these things add up. And we're spending, I think, way too much time, one, just buying stupid things that don't matter, but also investing into the operations of our business instead of being more resourceful to find ways to make things happen. So create that financial plan. Give yourself the best shot at a happy life, at a successful business, and a financially free future with money in your bank account.
If you want to sign up for the entire Billionaire Mindset series for free and get the companion bonus PDF calendar, check the link right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.